The next step before we can engage in any off-world trade is to set up a trade stockpile. Now, stockpiles in Outer Colony are basically special sorts of locations where your colonists know that they can store and get certain types of things. And a trade stockpile is just a stockpile that's designated for trade purposes only. So once you put items into a trade stockpile, your colonists won't touch them, and you can then use them as part of trade negotiations. So we're going to make a trade stockpile, and we're going to make it close to our landing site so that it's easy for our workers to transfer goods once a trade deal has been worked out. So I'm going to view Z level 59, which has a bunch of open spaces near our landing site, and I'm going to go ahead and click on the Manage Stockpiles button here. Then I'm going to select a location that's not on the landing site but is pretty close by. I'm just going to go ahead and click right here in an open tile. Now this is the stockpile management interface. This is where you can change the categories of items that can be stored in stockpiles, where you can create a stockpile or you can delete one. So because we're going to create a stockpile, we'll set the stockpile item categories for this place that we've clicked. We're going to go ahead and say all categories can be put in here, and then we're going to click this checkbox to make it a trade designated stockpile. Remember, trade stockpiles only will be used to hold items that will be available for trade negotiations. Your colonists will never put things into a trade stockpile of their own volition, and they'll never take them out of their own volition. If we wanted to make a normal stockpile, let's say we're doing a lot of construction and we want to move a whole bunch of our construction materials near to the site, you would use the same technique that's shown here, just not clicking on the trade designated stockpile button. So we'll go ahead and click OK. We'll see that our new stockpile has appeared. Now, because this is a trade stockpile, like I say, you have to explicitly put items inside of it. Colonists won't ever put anything in there on their own, and they won't take things out on their own. So, if we click on the tile inspection tool, and then we click on our stockpile, there are different options here. One is to view the stockpile details. This will show you the content that's in it. Right now there's nothing in this stockpile, but on our other stockpiles I'll show you that there's plenty in there. The Designate Items for Stockpile button is used to specify what you want to go into your stockpile. So if you remember from previous videos, we've manufactured a whole lot of cobalt, and that is what we are going to use to trade for other items. So we'll scroll through this alphabetized list. We will come across our cobalt, and once I see it right here, we've got 688,182 units. So I'm going to go ahead and say, let's move 650,000 units. We'll click the Designate Item and Quantity button, then we'll click OK. We'll click OK again. If we open up our Order Management dialog, we'll see that there's an Items Transported to Appropriate Stockpile. This is the cobalt. We'll elevate the order priority. We'll click OK. We'll let this run. And this job should be taken on by a worker in short order. Already is. Magnet Doorbell has acquired the cobalt, dropped it off. If we inspect again, and now we click on the View Stockpile Details, we can see that our 650,000 units of cobalt are present. If I go ahead and pause again, we can look using the Tile Inspection tool in any of our existing stockpiles and see all the sorts of stuff that are in there. So that covers the basics of stockpiles. Sometimes playing Outer Colony is a matter of having the right stockpiles near the right things to minimize the overall amount of running around that happens, but we've covered the basics for now, and we've got our trade stockpile set up, which is another key ingredient for off-world trade.